There's something really weird lately that I've been noticing that we really need to talk about. Scandals can be career ending for celebrities, especially in today's media landscape where everything they do is under a microscope. Very little that they have going on is considered private at this point. The good, the bad, and the ugly are all out there for public consumption. And I have noticed that when things do get ugly for some male celebrities, religion is the thing that they're falling back on or hiding behind. But why is that? Is this even genuine? And how effective is this actually? Let's break it down. Religion can be a really beautiful thing, and it's a really personal journey at that. And it's really common for people to turn to religion or seek connection with a higher power when the going gets tough. And it can be a transformative experience too. Many stars have been very outspoken about their spiritual journeys, from Jim Carrey to Gwen Stefani to Mark Wahlberg, the list goes on. But when it comes to Shia LaBeouf, Jonathan Majors, Russell Brand, and Danny Masterson in particular, I have often wondered if their public association with religion was in an effort to save face after their brands were severely damaged by scandal. With the topic of this video, of course, it's about celebrities using religion as a possible way to make smooth things over, basically. But I've noticed this more with male celebrities than female, which is interesting. Is there a reason for that?
I think that male celebrities just find that to be a good redemption arc. It's interesting for sure. I think when it comes to female celebrities, we see it a lot. Like I mentioned, Blake Lively, Taylor Swift, like they just kind of lay low. They let the storm pass, to where I think male celebrities like Russell Brand, Shia LaBeouf, like they don't go quietly into the good night. Like they want to kind of say, like, yes, I made this mistake, but I've found religion or I'm reforming in a certain way, or it was because for Russell Brands, it was because like he wasn't sober and he was an addict and now he is and he's found the light and now I'm, kind of like rehabilitating into a better person. So I think it's a way for them to showcase the fact that they have taken accountability. And I think that religion just kind of gets tied into that because so for Russell Brand, like becoming sober, like part of your steps, and a lot of that is like finding a higher power, something to kind of keep you accountable. So I think that that's kind of naturally just happens. But I also think too, right now, just even in the political landscape in America, we're really focused on religion. And even if you're maybe not necessarily like following the steps of a religion, I think that pretending that you are, putting on a face that you are, is very common right now.
Let's start with Shia LaBeouf. The Transformers star's personal struggles have been well documented over the years, with his first arrest occurring in 1996 when he was just 9 years old. He'd go on to have several more arrests leading up to his infamous June 2014 arrest when he had an outburst while attending the Broadway musical Cabaret. It was later that year in October 2014 when he revealed to Interview magazine that while working on the film Fury in 2013, he, quote, found God. Shia would go on to add multiple more arrests to his record, and he was also involved in a headline-making lawsuit with his ex-girlfriend, FKA Twigs, from 2020 to 2025. Amid the lawsuit, Shia revealed on January 2nd, 2024 that he had actually converted to Catholicism. And I noticed that he began to be even more outspoken about his faith journey from there, which was admittedly pretty cool to see someone being so unapologetically outspoken about their faith, and this outspokenness garnered a lot of positive remarks from Christians online too. Next, let's talk about Jonathan Majors. He was on his way to being Hollywood's next big thing with roles in Lovecraft Country, Creed 3, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. His indie flick Magazine Dreams was even getting Oscars buzz. But things took a drastic turn for Jonathan in March of 2023 when he was arrested for allegedly physically assaulting his ex-girlfriend. He was later found guilty that December of two misdemeanor counts of assault and harassment, leading to him serving a 52-week domestic violence intervention program, and he was dropped from numerous projects as a result. During Jonathan's legal trial, he was frequently seen carrying his own personal Bible and a poetry journal, in addition to appearing alongside his then girlfriend, now wife, Megan Good. He has since been very outspoken about his faith, even stating while accepting the Perseverance Award at the 2024 Impact Awards, "I'm just that guy whose faith has been tested. It has been strengthened by this testimony."
How have you been holding up since everything that's been happening, the case and everything?
God is good.
God is good?
God is great.
At this time, Jonathan is currently set to star in a film from the conservative media company, The Daily Wire. The film is called Red Dawn, and it's already experienced some challenges since production began.
Action! No! Okay.
Now, regarding Russell Brand, he began aligning himself with conservative politics and Christianity following the COVID-19 pandemic. However, based on my findings, he started deepening his right-leaning associations in 2023. And that is the same year he was dropped from his talent agency after he was accused by multiple women of sexual assault and sexual and emotional abuse. The following year, he was openly supporting Trump and the MAGA movement. He got baptized that same year, and as to get him to the Greek actor's trial began in April of 2026, he had brought his personal Bible with him to court, which is similar to what Jonathan Majors had done.
Was that the one you took into court?
You're the very one.
You were seen looking at some passages. What were the relevant passages for you?
All right. Thank you for asking me.
Thank you. That didn't hurt, did it?
A little bit.
And lastly, let's discuss Danny Masterson. And mind you, his situation is a little bit different from the others. As you may know, the That 70s Show actor is a longtime practicing Scientologist. And in 2017, 3 women filed sexual assault allegations against him. There was a trial in 2022 and a retrial in 2023. He was eventually sentenced in September 2023 to 30 years to life in prison for sexually assaulting 2 of his accusers. The Church of Scientology was a big part of Danny's case just because Danny and his victims were all associated with the church. In fact, the church was actually accused of protecting Danny and intimidating his accusers. However, in November of last year, Danny's attorneys filed a habeas corpus petition alleging that there was anti-Scientology bias in his case.
One of the things that I do see that brands and sometimes personalities make the mistake of is not having a crisis plan in place for what could happen. And one of the things that my agency does is when we're working with someone, whether it's a personality, whether it's a brand, whether it's a public figure, a celebrity, or what have you, from the beginning, you need to assess what they're going to be doing and what are the bad things that could possibly happen. You're attending the Met Gala, this is what could possibly happen. And so have a proactive way to address anything that happens. So one of the things that I really advise people to do that are maybe, is to have a crisis plan already established in case things happen.
That is the number one thing that I've learned from this conversation is just get ahead of it before it's even happening because you just never know. Is there ever situations where where you or somebody else in the industry that, works in this kind of publicity, they're talking with a client to get information about them to kind of understand, okay, this could potentially happen one day down the road. So are they creating plans like that in advance ever?
There are agencies that are doing that, but just very few. Mainly the agencies that are specifically crisis PR management.
Yeah.
Right? They do that.
Wow.
But the ones that are not specifically that, that are general PR and communications. I'm general PR and communications, but I have handled crisis situations.
Okay.
Yeah. And so an agency like mine that's just general, just handling, just standard PR communications, they sometimes may not think to do that. But because I have in the past handled crisis situations, I do that. I've been doing that for the last few years.
Okay.
Whenever a client comes on board, I would create, even if they don't ask me, I will create a general, maybe a 1-page outline and say, you know what? Because we're doing these things, this is what could happen, right, in terms of a crisis. So I just created an outline just so that we have something in case it happens. If we have to do, yeah. So I just do it anyway because a lot of people don't think they'll ever need it. But in today's day and age, with the way digital is going and a way a tweet becomes news now,
Yeah.
you have to do it.
I think it's safe to say that Shia LaBeouf, Jonathan Majors, Russell Brand, and Danny Masterson's public images were severely damaged by the scandal that they endured. And because I don't know them personally, I cannot definitively say whether or not their religious associations are to help save their brand or are coming from a genuine place. But what I can say is that the optics of it all are very peculiar, to say the least.
And how effective is that when they do go down this approach? Because I feel like with Shia LaBeouf, I've seen some positive comments come out of this for him, but maybe with the Russell Brand side of things, I've seen more of the negative just because I think his associations are also more right-leaning, MAGA. So I think that adds an extra layer of complications for sure.
Yes. Yeah, there's definitely a line between like religion and going over into the MAGA territory. But then also now it's sometimes people are so religious that they're understanding that MAGA is now not, and they're kind of going the reverse way and they're becoming more liberal. So I've been seeing that a lot too, which is very interesting. Not so much with celebrities, but just like online in general and influencers. But yeah, when it comes to Shia LaBeouf, I think it worked out for him because he has that child star aspect to him that a lot of people relate to, feel bad for. We grew up with him in our homes. We've seen him on various, movies, television, even Stevens, and he's a great actor. He's great at his craft. So I think child stars, not that they get a pass, but I think they just get a little bit more understanding in general versus if you're an adult and then you become a celebrity, and the way that they handle themselves. So I think that definitely plays into that respect. And the religion, it's always hard because it's I hope that it's not a tactic. It's not a PR tactic that I've ever used or would recommend to use. So if it is a tactic, then I feel like that's something that you have to take up on your own and kind of decide how you feel about that. And that's a decision that they've made. But if it's not a tactic, then I think being open about it is okay. But I think there is more respect in private life and a private religion. And I think now a lot of people respect celebrities that don't give you every little thing about their lives, and kind of we're so into parasocial relationships with celebrities right now. So we want everything, but I think that there is more respect for celebrities that don't give you every little detail of their life, that don't show their kids on the internet, that don't tell you about their religion. So yeah, I think that is definitely interesting, but yeah, I think the child star aspect has a lot of leniency when it comes to Shia LaBeouf.
When it comes to males in terms of this and their more instant, okay, here I am kind of thing, as you noted, is this having to do with the male ego? Because I feel like with women, I mean, we all have egos, but I just feel like it's so different. I don't know why.
Yeah, so I don't know if you'll know this example. I watch a lot of reality TV, and right now there's a scandal happening with West Wilson, Sierra, Amanda Butala. So in that little threesome, I think that there's there's so many layers. The fact that Sierra is an African-American woman, the fact that Amanda is still married to her husband, the fact that West is a white male, and is kind of just getting away with all of this, is definitely interesting. And there's been leaks about the reunion, and kind of everybody's been saying, and even Amanda's current husband, Kyle, that they're getting a divorce. But even he said that after the reunion that West didn't really stick up for Amanda. He just kind of let her take all of the heat. So I think that women in general were just used as the scapegoat. And I think it's because we do feel a little, maybe in this case, she did feel a little guiltier. Sierra was her best friend. She did make a mistake versus West in his mind could justify we're two single people. This is fine. So I think that it is the male ego, but it's also, I think, just the privilege that men are given. I think women are so used to being the scapegoat too, that a lot of the times we just kind of fall into that and our people pleaser tendencies. And we're just kind of okay, I'll go into the shadows or, make this right. I think typically with men, they just kind of don't take in that backlash, I think, as harshly as women do. And I think that's kind of the experiences of growing up male versus female. kind of internalizing that and like having it attached to your ego.
As I noted earlier, when it comes to Danny Masterson's situation in particular, it's a bit more complicated. But it does remind me of what's currently going on with the Duggar family. And if you don't know who the Duggar family is, they had a very popular show back in the day on TLC called 19 Kids and Counting. And Josh Duggar, who is the eldest Duggar sibling, received a nearly 13-year prison sentence in 2023 after he was accused of receiving and possessing child pornography. His family had long been associated with IBLP, aka the Institute in Basic Life Principles. It's a very conservative and strict, non-denominational Christian fundamentalist organization. And Josh had already faced many scandals prior to this, including to admitting to molesting multiple minor girls when he was a teenager, and some of his victims were his own sisters. Josh used his Christian faith as a shield to hide his problematic behaviors. Seemingly and allegedly. You just gotta say it. Which is similar to the allegations that Danny Masterson and the Church of Scientology were facing during his trial. And right now, as of March of 2026, Josh's brother, Joseph Duggar, is facing his own legal trouble after being arrested and charged with several counts of unlawful sexual activity with a minor. And Joseph's wife, Kendra, was arrested shortly thereafter. She was formally charged in Arkansas with 4 counts of endangering the welfare of a minor in the 2nd degree, and 4 counts of false imprisonment in the 2nd degree. With all of this in mind, even if the religious association comes from a genuine place or is a method intended to soften the blow to these people's personal brands, once damaging scandal arises, their brands will forever be tainted regardless. Additionally, one's religious associations does not and should not excuse one's bad behavior.
When a celebrity's personal brand is damaged, how hard is it to rehabilitate that?
Well, it depends on the amount of damage and how long it's been happening. So, for example, let's say something happened just yesterday or 2 days ago, then coming up with a plan and a strategy to kind of address that situation publicly usually helps in the amount of time that it will take to kind of repair the damage. But if you go without saying anything or you say the wrong things, it can make it even worse.
All in all, this is of course a really sticky subject, but I do hope that this video helps kickstart genuine and proper and nuanced discussions around this matter because it really does need to be talked about. And that's all I have to say about that. Thank you so much for watching this week's video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this from me, Dory Jackson. Bye for now.